Well, joining me now is Ruth Wasserman Lande. She's a former Knesset member with the party of Israeli opposition leader Benny Gantz, who joined an emergency unity government after the Hamas attacks. Thank you for coming here to our outdoor position.
Welcome.
First of all, the delay of the invasion and American diplomacy. Is the invasion being delayed of the Gaza Strip because the Americans have put pressure on Mr. Netanyahu?
So, Matt, first of all, I'd like to say that there is a context to the invasion, and the context is very important to explain the carnage, the massacre, the rape, the beheading of babies that had occurred on Saturday is something that the Israeli civilian population, the country, has never experienced. I say
Not
this
since the Holocaust.
Well, as a country, since the establishment of the State of Israel, we had never experienced this kind of inhumane, heinous behavior, which shames Islam, by the way. This is not Islam.
Sure.
The reason why I say this is the time and the manner in which Israeli defense forces will enter into Gaza will be decided upon in exactly the same manner. It will be precisely thought of not when who comes, for example, from the United States, but according to the capabilities and the surprise factor.
So you've got 360,000 troops and dozens of tanks poised on the border, and you will go in at some stage. What's the plan for once you've gone in? Who ends up running Gaza once you've removed Hamas, if you remove Hamas?
So first of all, you're asking something regarding the day after. And the day after is not an Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This is very important to comprehend. This is something that is the extremists versus the normality of humankind. And that's why there would need to be a coalition, including Egypt, Jordan, the United States, European countries, Saudi Arabia.
So some multinational force trying to run the Gaza Strip?
Not run the Gaza Strip, but rather giving the backing to what needs to be done. And what needs to be done, and this is just the first step. The Hamas is saying that this is a first step. Only a first step, because the next step is to kill all the Jews throughout the world. And the next one is the West. So what I'm saying is that there will need to be an international coalition in what? In cleaning the evil forces out of Gaza for the sake of the Palestinian inhabitants as well, and then having some kind of a rebuilding of this place in a normal manner.
Okay, but those Palestinians who've become refugees again in their own territory, have moved south, and many of them are telling us, in fact all of them are telling us, that they're afraid that they won't be allowed back to their homes. And of course, whenever Palestinians have become refugees in the last 70 years, they've not gone back to their homes. So is this going to be different?
I just want to say one thing. The reason why refugee camps in Nablus remain refugee camps is because of the Palestinian leadership.
But what about in Gaza? Will they be allowed back?
They will not only be allowed back, we want to see Gaza rebuilt in a manner which will enable them to live normally and not as hostages of the Hamas. And
but how can you, sorry to interrupt, but how can you guarantee that they won't want Hamas back in power? Maybe Hamas is popular enough for them to get them back in power. I mean, you don't know that.
Hamas is a heinous terrorist organization. It bombarded the bridge, allowing the Palestinian civilian population to flee the bombardments. When the IDF is telling a civilian population, we want you out so that we don't hurt you. Let us take care of those who carnaged us, raped us, beheaded our babies, and there's no going back on that. And if any other country thinks that this can go unanswered, it's absolutely impossible. But they will be allowed to come back because we don't want to be in Gaza.
So what do you say to those Palestinians? And, you know, we'll speak to one in a minute. Here in Ramallah, in the West Bank, you say Israel has done everything to undermine the moderate Palestinians of the Palestinian Authority in recent decades. And that's why you end up with Hamas.
I would like to see the president of the Palestinian people say that he condemns
He
in
did
the
it today.
strongest,
He did it this
in
morning.
the strongest terms,
Yeah.
not alongside condemning the Israeli bombardments, but the hyenas.
He did it this morning. He
inhumane
condemned the violence
crimes.
against Israel.
It's not violence. The violence.
He condemned the, I don't know the
No,
exact wording,
no,
but he said
but I
the
know the exact
atrocious
wording.
attacks against Hamas,
I
he
know the
condemned them.
exact wording because I speak Arabic, and I want to say 10 days after crimes that are inhumane to describe, they are not they are not normal enough to
Right.
be spoken of here. There are videos showing, and who made those videos?
Yeah.
The Hamas operatives. They were proud of their
Yeah.
Nazi-like crimes. This is inhumane to wait 10 days and to very, very briefly condemn in Arabic while also comparing the Israeli bombardments is not a condemnation.
Okay.
We wish to see, by the way, one more sentence.
Very quickly, sorry,
we
we're
are
running out
not
of time.
against the Palestinian people.
Yeah.
We are against being massacred, burnt, beheaded, and raped.
Okay. Ruth Wasserman Lande, thank you very much indeed. Got to
Thank
leave it
you.
there.